Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Tonight's story is a two-part series from the fantastic mind of LadyVonMare. As ever, please do let us know what you thought down below in the comments box. Please do like and share. It really does help build the channel and our community further. And why not hashtag TeamFEAR and DMT's Cryptid crew. And so, with that aside, let's get into tonight's story. Entitled, My sister went missing in the mountains 3 years ago. Today, I received her voicemails. Part 1. Let's get straight into that. My sister and I had this kind of bond where we kind of trusted each other more than we trusted our own parents. I guess this was forced upon us because our parents usually always left us home alone together. Growing up, we pretty much only had each other, and because of this, she would usually always come to me for help during any situation before going to our parents, unless the issue was about growing up. It's self-explanatory as to why. 3 years ago, I remember, it was summer of 2017, and for some reason, my sister had grown a fondness of rock climbing and hiking. Now, I don't judge because of what you're interested in unless it's fucking weird, but I didn't want her to be so adventurous with this hobby because of how dangerous it can be. Nonetheless, I supported her the most I could, despite my paranoid imagination of her getting hurt or whatnot. One day in June, she decided she would take a hike up a somewhat far but still near mountain trail. Due to how far it was from home and me not being able to rock climb as much as her, I declined her offer to go together, and to this day I regret doing so. Come late June, and it turns out her friends all cancelled, so she would go alone. I'm not sure what would qualify as a rock climbing and hiking expert and whatnot, but I can assure you, she was one. Despite my complaining of her going alone, she used the "I'm 22 and you're 23 now, stop worrying" card on me. She wouldn't just stay to ease my paranoia, and with a sigh of defeat, I took my loss at the argument and let her go with wishes of luck and hope that she would be fine. After we both said our ever so dragged on goodbyes because of me, she was off. I sent her a text as soon as she drove off, asking what percent her phone was on, and she replied 100% because she had just charged it before she left. Well, that was the biggest relief I felt. I decided not to bug her anymore, despite my worries, because she was doing what she loves. Plus, she's kind of like a professional at it, and she'll be fine. Before I knew it, days had passed. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months, and months turned to years. 3 years I haven't seen her for. 3 years. I sent an endless amount of texts asking about where the hell she was, if she was okay, and what the hell happened. You get the point. Not a single fucking reply. I never got her to tell me the place she went to because "I'll be back before you know it," as she always said. I knew I should have made her tell me. And just yesterday, at 4:19 AM, I woke up to an endless stream of sound on the notifications of my phone. They poured in like crazy. I sat up in bed to take a look at the damn annoying noise. 15 missed calls had been sent to the voicemail. I was confused as hell because it's 4 in the fucking morning. My confusion turned to shock and worry when I glanced at who the sender was. Amy. The nickname I gave her years ago because of her name, Amelia. I listened to her voicemails and found myself in tears of horror and sorrow. The weirdest part was that I received the voicemails yesterday, yet the dates they were recorded were still on the notification as the date that they were sent. I took a day to recollect my thoughts, and now I'm here, typing this out on no sleep because honestly, I think only you guys will believe me. This is what The voicemails said. Voicemail number 1. June 28th, 2017, at 2:13 p.m. Hey, I knew you'd worry about me, so I called, but you were probably busy. I'm leaving this voicemail to let you know that I'm just fine. Still on my way over to the trail. Hope your day is going well. I miss you. End of message. Voicemail 2, July 1st, 2017, at 12:03 a.m. I made it to the trail. It's dark out, so I'll be sleeping in the car for the night. Just want to check in with you before I fall asleep. Everything's going according to plan. Hope you're well. There's owls outside and they're hooting sometimes. This is so new to me. I wish you were here to hear them with me because I know you were always so curious about owls. Anyway, good nights and have sweet dreams, alright? I miss you. There was an inaudible but most likely a laugh from Amy. End of message. Voicemail 3, July 1st, 2017, 9:52 a.m. Good morning, Carter. I never knew the car could be so comfortable yet uncomfortable at the same time. The time has come for me to start taking my hike. Wish me luck, Carter. Gotta check my inventory first. Hope your day goes well. Miss you. End of message. Voicemail 4, July 1st, 2:17, at 8:27 p.m. Well, I found myself in a bit of a predicament. The trail seems to be unfinished, so I'm not sure where to go. I'll discover the rest of the trail and name it Amelia Trail, and then get famous for it. And she giggles for a while. Anyway, I'm going to have to set up camp to call it a day since it's 8. I hope you're doing okay. Why aren't you answering your phone, by the way? At least leave me a voicemail or a text or something. I miss you and I'm kind of starting to get homesick. See ya. Call sometime. Good night. End of message. Well, this one brought me to watery eyes because of how sad she sounded at the last part. Voicemail 5, July 2nd, 2:17, at 7:36 a.m. Why aren't you answering your phone? You know I hate it when you do this. Anyway, things have been going somewhat according to plan. Like I'm discovering my own trail. My inventory is all good and I'm still safe. I just wish you'd answer and pretend to be here with me. Inaudible. And yeah, I haven't seen a trace of any sign that someone was here before me. I'm going to make us famous, haha. I hope you're doing well, and answer your phone or text me sometime. End of message. Voicemail 6, July 5th, 2:17, at 3:30 a.m. Okay. Inaudible sounds of distress. I might not be alone here, and so I had to set up camp 3 days ago, and was asleep in my tent. No shit, I had my phone under my pillow like always. Well, to my dismay, I woke up that following morning to have found it gone. Well, for the following 2 days, I ran around like a mad woman trying to find it. I found it just now on a tree branch, perfectly perched up with its camera facing the camp from a distance. Carter, I'm actually kind of scared, but it could have easily been a curious squirrel or so. I'm limiting my phone usage to make the most out of the phone's battery. It's been about 7 days since I left and I'm still at 94%. I'm so glad I upgraded phones and bought my portable charger. I'll make sure to keep you updated if anything else happens. And please, answer your phone. Bye. End of message. This is the one that made me cry. I felt so bad at the same time. I never once received any calls of any sort. Voicemail 7, July 6th, 2:17, at 11:08 a.m. I've made it quite far and high up. It's almost like this never ends. I think I might discover the longest hiking trail known to mankind. Nothing has really happened since my phone disappeared. Maybe it was just a curious animal and I'm just being crazy. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, because after I climb that mountain ahead, I'm going to come back home and give you the biggest hug you've ever felt in your life. Long pause with the sound of leaves crunching at her feet as she walked. Oh, this is taking longer than I thought. You won't answer your phone. I miss you. I miss home. There was a sniffle and then a whimper. Please, call me or text me. I feel so alone. You big loser. As she manages to laugh a little between her tears. Please? End of message. I don't think anything has ever made me cry as hard as I did to this message. I try to contact you every day I could, Amy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am. Voicemail 8. July 10th, 2:17 at 2:41 a.m. An inaudible scraping sound, weird clicking sounds, and sudden silence, later interrupted by approaching footsteps and then Amy's voice. Ah, there it is. It's in a call. Oh, Carter! Pause, and then she sighs. Another voicemail. Carter, I saw it. I saw what took my phone. It was definitely not an animal that I've ever seen. Oh, it was weird, small and human-like, yet not human. I purposely kept my phone near the tent entrance and lay there awake. At around 5 in the morning, I saw one of the tent flaps open a little, and in peeked this weird, somewhat shriveled arm, and then a shoulder, and eventually the entire body and head. I grabbed my phone and it looked at me. I was staring at it wide-eyed, unable to make a sound. It took my phone and made a run for it. I was so paralyzed with fear of what I just seen. Oh, its eyes, they were sunken, almost colorless. Its eyes, almost as if its glare at me caused me to remain motionless until I fell asleep. I came looking for my phone and here I am, after 4 fucking days. I'm sorry, Carter, but we can be famous for something else. I'm going home right fucking now, and I think I'm done with the outdoors. Sound of her footsteps, and she stops walking for a moment because of the sound of a nearby bush rustling. Her footsteps pick up pace to a full sprint. End of message. I was left in confused horror. Voicemail number 9. July 31st, 2017 at 12:33 a.m. Carter, There was a sniffle. She appears to be crying. I don't know if I'm going to make it home. There was a long pause as she cried. July 10th, I think. That's when I was running and... It was an inaudible speech combined with crying, and she paused to catch her breath. Something jumped out at me and... I don't know where I am, Carter. More crying. I really miss you. I'm scared and it's dark. I hope you're okay. Another sniffle. Don't forget about me if I don't make it home. Oh, okay. And she completely breaks down. I don't even know if I'm still on the trail to be able to call for help. End of message. In unison with the message, I cried along. I couldn't help it. I hadn't seen her nor heard from her in 3 fucking years. I broke down as well. I hesitantly listened to the rest. Voicemail number 10, August 27th, 2017, at 1:12 p.m. It's like there's a society of them. Carter, the creatures I saw before. There's more than one. There's hundreds, probably thousands. They're holding me captive. I have my gear because I don't think they know how any of it works. Carter, these fucking things. I don't know what the fuck they are. They look like decaying bodies and they smell like them too. But they're alive. They're small. They're shriveled up with sunken faces. Their eyes are colorless. I think they communicate with these weird fucking clicking sounds. Carter, I'm scared shitless right now. I don't know what they want from me. Have they ever even seen a fucking human? I'm freaking out. I'm having a panic attack. and she tries to catch her breath.
What would they do to me? It's daytime and I know I'm in the mountain. I had planned to climb before. I called for a rescue a long time ago and heard a helicopter fly by. I don't think anyone will ever find me for a long-ass time. Carter, I'm so sorry I didn't listen to you.
And she starts to break down.
I miss you so much. I'm sorry.
And there was more silent sobs. End of message. Well, this message brought me to tears and fear once again. I didn't want to continue, but I did. Voicemail number 11, February 19th, 2018, 5:30 a.m. Inaudible sounds and presumably sobs.
Carter, I know for sure I won't make it. They're keeping me alive with animals they hunt. One day on their hunt, I was left alone, so I did some exploring in the limited space I'm in.
And she sniffles once again as she struggles to continue speaking.
I found bones. I found human fucking bones. A fucking skull, Carter.
And she sobs again.
These things, I don't know for sure, but I think they struggle to pick up loud noises, but can pick up even the lowest of sounds. When I shout, they don't seem to hear it, but they can hear even the slightest whisper from me. Carter, please, I don't even know if you listen to these.
And she takes a moment to cry.
I really, really, really hope you do.
She takes another moment to cry.
I know you don't like to rock climb or hike or the outdoors at all, but I'm begging you.
And she sobs silently before continuing.
Come for me. I don't know where I am up on the trail, but I'm somewhere near where the mountain picks up. It's...
Trail's name.
When you reach the dead end, you take a left, through the trees that are aligned, almost like a doorway. You're...
And she sobs again.
My only hope. I miss you.
End of message. I don't know what I have to do, but I decided to listen to the rest of the voicemails before I did anything rash. Voicemail number 12, December 14th, 2018, at 2:37 a.m. And she spoke through tears.
Happy birthday, Carter. I'm sorry for the long absence. I'm trying to preserve my phone battery because these pricks broke my portable charger.
And she sniffles.
It's so cold. Be safe, Carter. I sure as hell can't. These creatures have been observing me for the past year. I'm so fucked. Carter.
And she wearily laughs.
Don't ever forget about me. I have no clue why you don't answer me.
And then sniffles and more sobs.
Maybe you just don't care about me anymore.
She takes a solid 2 minutes to cry to herself, and then 2 more to recollect herself.
I'm sorry about that. I'm scared. Please, come save me, Carter.
End of message. Voicemail number 13, April 29th, 2019, at 10:59 p.m.
Fuck, Carter. What a fucking birthday present I fucking get. I woke up to find these fucking creatures murdering one of their own kind. Their hands, they don't look the part, but their fingers are like fucking razor blades. They decapitated one in a swift slash with a single fucking finger. One of them took the head and proceeded to fucking eat everything inside of it. Oh, I threw up but couldn't stop staring. Carter, I'm so done with the outdoors. If I get a chance, I'm burning this fucking forest down. I don't care if I cause a forest fire. I'm burning it all down. Earlier, they stuffed the empty head with the body of one they killed, after completely annihilating its bones. I heard every crack violently emanate from its horrific scene of them stomping on the body and the internal organs spewing out from its headless neck. I threw up so hard, Carter. They fucking offered me the head. They fucking offered me the fucking head. I feel like I'm going insane. I don't want to piss these things off. I took the gift. It's as I described before. Their skin feels like decaying flesh. They have teeth like sharks that fit into a mouth like a human's, but the size of a cat's. Oh, what the actual fuck are these things? Please, help me, Carter. Please.
End of message. I felt sick and worried. Voicemail number 14. October 25th, 2019 at 1:01 a.m.
These things, I know what they want now, Carter. They may not be able to speak, but they can comprehend what I say, and they seem to speak in some sort of Morse code, I think. They use clicks and a weird low hum. They just want to use me as a means to create more of their kind. Carter, they're not capable of speech, but they're intelligent. They want to reproduce using me until the day I die. If I refuse, I'll probably anger them and it'll hurt me. I don't want to accept either. Get me the hell out of here, Carter. I'd do almost anything just to see you again.
End of message. Oh, her voice. Her voice was so monotone, emotionless, lost and so dead. It was the sound of defeat. Someone who had given up, lost all hope, and accepted that they were doomed with an ill fate. Voicemail number 15. May 18th, 2020 at 4:19 a.m.
Carter, I'm gonna miss you. I'll probably never see you again. Live a long, happy life for me. I don't want to die a painful death. I don't think I have any choice but to accept. To think my phone survived for so long. I'm finally at 3%. I conserved it only for when I spoke with you, or at least I tried to. I don't know why you never answered me. I missed you a whole lot. I still do. It's painful to think that you could be at home either worrying about me or not. Both thoughts hurt me. I'm cornered. I have no choice but to submit to their request. Goodbye, Carter. You were always my favorite family member.
And she starts to break down.
You still are. You always will be. I had never been closer to anyone the way I am with you. I didn't deserve to have a brother like you. I should have listened to you and not gone.
There was a long pause as she cried some more.
Never forget.
End of message. The audio abruptly cut off. She never once has hung up or left a call or voicemail unfinished. I knew what this meant. Her phone had died. I dreaded the thought, but I knew it was true, and I hated it. Fast forward to now, I'm sitting in my car with my dad's shotgun, his pistol, ammunition, and a few extra bits of hiking and camping gear my sister had in her room, and food and water. I knew what I had to do. I'm going to listen to the 11th voicemail right after I post this to get to the location. Then I'm going to get my fucking sister back or die trying. She was the closest to me anyone has ever been, and she's been through everything with me. The world has probably hardly ever seen two siblings as close as we are. I'm not letting her just stay there to suffer the terrible fate of being used as a slave for their reproduction and then eventually die. I'm not letting a single one of those things survive either. My sister went missing in the mountains 3 years ago. The other day I received her voicemails. Part 2. Let's get straight into that. As I expected, you people are supportive. I've listened to the advice many of you gave me in the first part of this ordeal. I'm here with an update of what happened after I went for my sister, since a lot of you wanted to hear about it. Now, to start things off, I'm not a big guy. I'm not athletic nor strong at all. I like to just say that this whole thing was smooth sailing and I went in there Rambo-style spraying bullets and came out unscathed with my sister. Oh, if only that were true. Well, here's what actually happened. As a few of you said, I shouldn't go alone. I called a friend and had to explain the entire thing. Oh, he didn't believe me at all. With a groan, I just decided to tell him we were going hunting. He obliged. Now, my friend Diego was the absolute opposite of me. In jokes terms, I suppose you could call him a Chad. Oh, he's a big dude, he's athletic, and if it wasn't clear, he enjoys hunting. His dad was also into casting, which was perfect because, as one of you pointed out, these fucking assholes that took my sister might try to tear my Achilles tendon or something. Spending a couple of hours at Diego's house, giving up and preparing, I obtained a little more ammunition for my dad's shotgun. After Diego's father finished the piece of armor for my leg, I paid him a bit of money and went on my way with Diego. I told Diego to take the best guns he could. All he managed to bring with him was an M14 and a bow. I think he took the hunting thing too literally. In the car, I explained to him the situation again. This time I showed him some of the voicemails. In reaction to it all, Diego insisted I called the police for help. I denied and asked him if he knew someone actually helpful. Rolling his eyes to me with reluctance to tell the authorities, he told me about the local gas station guy. Apparently, the local gas station worker was an honourably discharged soldier who decided to move to our little town and run a gas station since we didn't have one many years back. I'll spare you the details as this is dragging on a whole lot. But eventually, we managed to talk the guy into joining us. His name was Clyde, by the way. Diego let Clyde handle the M14 since Clyde has had the greater experience with such weaponry than either of us. We all made it around 3 in the morning. On the side of the road, I could see it. A rusty old beat-up familiar car. Amy's car. That hit me like a brick. Clyde and Diego had to get me to pull myself together. Before we went onto the trail, we approached her car. It was a mess. The windows were shattered, stuff was strewn everywhere. I know Amelia better than anyone, and this is not how she would ever leave her car. It's been here for 3 years now, and people definitely moved it off the road and raided the hell out of it. I could tell that because anything worth money was gone. We went up the trail not long after that, and eventually found ourselves at a dead end. Looking around, I saw exactly what Amy meant. There was in fact 2 trees that curved near each other that looked like some sort of doorway/archway. I called to Clyde and Diego, and then we all pressed on. I don't think anyone had considered going into the foliage past the archway trees because everything seemed so untouched by humanity. We arrived at an abandoned tent. What do you know? It's the exact same colour, brand and design as Amelia's tent. What a fucking coincidence. I was in the middle of almost having another breakdown and having to have Diego and Clyde calm me down when nearby I heard a noise. A noise I dreaded. A noise I can only describe as a click. In a split moment, I lost any will to stay on the ground and cry. I bolted up and looked in the general direction of the sound. I'm guessing Clyde and Diego heard it as well, because they turned in the same direction. And there it stood. One of those little fuckers. Exactly as Amelia had explained. Small, frail, smells of decay, looks like decaying flesh and colourless eyes. I have no idea why, but I took a step forward. Its somewhat human-looking ears jerked a little in response to my somewhat silent step. In the background, Diego was whisper yelling at me to come the fuck back. Clyde had the M14 drawn and ready to shoot if that thing tried anything at all. I glared at it directly in its stupid, sunken, colourless eyes and took another step forward. The next moment happened in a flash. It lunged at me. Clyde took a shot and Diego stumbled. I stumbled. The creature then fell back. After almost going fucking deaf because of Clyde, I got up and passively aggressively thanked him for an ear damage, but also for saving my life. And so did Diego. Clyde chuckled and we all gathered around the creature. Clyde had got it in the stomach, and it was down but wasn't dead. Yet, Diego was freaking out because he realized everything I told him was true. I don't even know if these creatures have pupils in those clouded grey eyes, but I knew it was looking at me. While Clyde was getting Diego to calm down, I grabbed at the thing's neck. It struggled. I threw the fucker onto the ground and raised my leg. It then looked at me and produced this weird click, 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 hum, 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 click, click, click. And Clyde looked over, recognizing the combination of clicks and hums as an SOS. Those little bastards really are intelligent then. Holy shit. Clyde was astounded as I was. Diego finally got up and was looking around, making sure there wasn't any more of them around. I slammed my heel and my foot into the skull of whatever the hell you want to call these things. I let out an ear-piercing shriek in response to the pain of its skull being bashed in. Not only did its flesh look like it was decaying, it was as weak as decaying flesh. Somehow, its shrieks of pain were satisfying. They filled me with a hope I couldn't explain. I took the butt of my dad's shotgun and proceeded to bash in its skull even more. Every time, more and more it cried out. The more it shrieked, the more I enjoyed it. As a finishing touch, I absolutely obliterated its ribcage with a stomp of my foot. I finally shut the hell up after. And Diego and Clyde just watched the entire thing. I stood up and casually threw out a, "All right then, let's keep going," and started walking. We kept walking. Eventually, we all approached the mountainside. It was still dark as hell, but I suppose we made it faster than Amy did, because not only did we not take breaks to sleep, we sort of speed walked, nor did we take 3 to 4 days looking for our phones twice. We were close to the place, I could tell, because there were a few more of these weird gremlin zombie fuckers acting like guards. And they were hostile upon seeing us, and something told me that it was because they could sense I absolutely decimated one of their kind. And this is where it all went downhill. We entered no man's land without realizing it. They surrounded us. Let me tell you, if you were to dig up every body in a cemetery, the smell most likely could not amount to the smell of decay from all of these things combined. Now Diego, Clyde and I were standing back to back, looking around ourselves. I wish we had some sort of machine gun or something to have sprayed these guys with bullets. They all charged at once, and so did we. I don't remember who fired the first shot, but some of them started dying, but there were too many still alive for celebration. If I could go into detail as to what happened next, I would. Unfortunately, it was all a blur since it happened so fast. We must have been there all night, fighting off loads of whatever the hell you want to call them, because when it was over, the sky had that dark blue hint of sunrise. I was dizzy, not only from the horrid smell of decaying flesh, the wounds I received, and the metallic smell of blood, but also my arms hurt like a bitch for not being able to handle a gun very well. As I struggled to get up from falling over, I looked up to see Diego hunched over Clyde, who was laying on the ground. I got up and went over to see what had happened. Those things, they'd got him good. Clyde had a massive slash mark across his throat. Not sure when or how they got up there, considering he's not that short, but those bastards did it. I wish I could say that Clyde gave some last few words in the form of an emotional speech, but this isn't a movie. I sat with Diego for a moment of silence. We both struggled but managed to bury Clyde and decided to leave the M14 sticking out of the ground and Clyde's watch around the barrel as some sort of makeshift gravestone. The rest of the walk forward was in pure silence. Neither of us said a word, neither of us laughed, neither of us even smiled. The only noise was the wind, our footsteps, and our fatigued breathing. I didn't even know Clyde before this entire ordeal, and losing someone hurts like a bitch. Diego and I eventually approached the cave, and the sun was out already. I took out the flashlight I'd brought along from Amy's room and illuminated the pitch blackness of the cavern. The zombie gremlins, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, had built a cage out of sticks and barbed wire from God knows where. In the cage was a girl hunched over in the dark. Next to the cage was one more of those things. I dropped all supplies I had on me right then and there. I remember this part vividly. "Stay right there, Diego. This one's fucking personal." I gave Diego a stern look. "Are you sure you don't want a weapon?" Diego asked. "I just need you to back me up if things go wrong," I said, just before walking up to what I guess you could say was our arena. The thing and I both charged at each other, and we ended up tackling each other. As I mentioned earlier that I'm not that big or athletic, its impact was bigger than mine. The two of us fell back in the direction it came at me. I tried to hold back its hands, but his fingers took my left hand's pinky and ring finger with a quick motion that I can only describe as scissors type of gesture from the rock, paper, scissors. I still felt tired from a huge fight earlier, and so my grip wasn't too strong. It got me on the right shoulder. God damn, I don't think any string of words in any language could describe to you the pain that I was in. I finally managed to shove it back and struggled to get up. As soon as I did, my body was on autopilot. I dashed right at the fucker and dove into its fucking skull with a sick-ass dropkick. I slammed it onto the ground, arm first, and felt dizzy from blood loss and the fatigue from earlier, but I wasn't about to drop out just yet. I got up and stomped on its skull until its entire head felt like mush. Diego quickly ran over to me when it was over and bandaged up my hand and shoulder. Everything else was, well, kind of a blur. But I found myself in a car with Diego driving and the girl from the cave in the back seat. And there she was, Amelia, my beloved sister who went missing 3 years before. But something was off. She wasn't herself. She was silent and distant. She always seemed to be staring off. Eventually we got home and I got Amy cleaned up. She never said a word, just stared straight ahead with a distant stare of a shattered life. It's been a couple of days now, like 2 or 3, I think. I started working at the gas station in honour of Clyde. He was a respectable man who lived a respectable life. Nothing much has happened. Amelia is still completely silent. I've only ever seen her do something other than stare when she's next to the window at night. And that's that she presses her hand on the glass and stares at the moon. I don't know what the fuck they did to her. I miss her. She's not the same. She's lost. And that's not Amy anymore. She's just Amelia to me now. And I want the original back. Wow, 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 wow. Another one, wow. Absolutely awesome and mysterious storyline there from the wonderful LadyVonMare. As ever, please do let us know what you thought down below in the comments box. Please do like and share. It really does help build the channel and our community further. And why not hashtag TeamFEAR and DMT's Cryptid crew. Of course, I'm always on the lookout for more new content, brand new stories or series. And so if you're a writer or possibly just feel like having a crack at things, please do get in touch with myself at the usual email as on screen, which is dmtforesterfear@gmail.com. I hope you guys are all well and happy, and family and friends alike, and keeping fit and focused. But above all, remember, be safe, not sorry.